Hey you guys, welcome back to our channel. My name is Goetty. This is the Jamaitians, and we are talking about all things happy and just keeping our peace and joy and all that good stuff. Okay, as we strive to live a softer life, if that's what we choose to do. Now, you guys, so I was talking to a good friend, okay, not too long ago, and that's what brought on the topic of today's video. And basically, this friend struggles with, which I personally do too. We've all heard the term, you know, take people for who they are. Like what they show you is what take that for face value, basically, right? And well, a lot of times it seems like people will say things to you, and then in your mind you have this whole dictionary of what that thing meant. You know what I mean? And we read into all sorts of, we read everything, every word they used, every pause. You know what I mean? And yeah, you guys. So I wanted to discuss that a little bit, just because I feel like in a lot of ways that is self-sabotaging to our peace of mind. And I am so guilty. So guilty. I'm so guilty of that, you guys. It's something that I continue to work on. You know what I mean? Because I don't know why. I don't know where that stems from. I believe it's like some kind of defense mechanism, because we don't want to get hurt. We don't want to, you know, feel like we've been gotten or duped or whatever. You know what I mean? So someone could tell you something, and then you just sit there, like putting all these fine lines and fine prints in between every word they say. And it's so frustrating, because you might, just from that scenario alone, and the person may just mean what they said, or they may not. You know what I mean? You have to know your friends. You have to know the people you surround yourself with. But sometimes, that's just our mind, working overtime, in the negative way. You know what I mean? So I'm still learning how to combat that. You know what I mean? I feel one way is just, not, oh, if I feel like my mind has to work so hard to decipher what someone is telling me, and what a person that I'm always around is, their actions, and and all that. If I have to do all that, then I don't need to be around you constantly, because my mind can't take it. Like, let's be real. You know what I mean? Like, I should have to feel like I have to sit there and think about what your body movement means. Think about what you just said. Think about, if I can't just take it for face value, then what value do you really bring to me? Like, what value do you bring besides the torture, that I'm putting on myself? Like, I feel like if we're not going to, and it's a lot of times it's not that person, you guys. That's the thing. Like, we're like, that's why it's called self sabotage. Like, you're self sabotaging your peace of mind. You're self sabotaging your joy, because you're gonna go home, and you're gonna rewind and think about what that person said, how they said it. You know what I mean? And uh, something that was just casually said, becomes this whole big thing, when in reality, it really was nothing to begin with. We have to stop, reading into every single thing that people, talk to us about, or say to us, or, how they act. Because a lot of times, you guys, it has nothing, it has absolutely nothing to do with us. Okay. For all we know, that person is going through their own thing, and it's kind of selfish too. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little bit self-centered, to think that every time somebody says something to you, they're really like, it's always some kind of ulterior motive, and or, different things that they try to say undercover or whatever. It's not that serious. It's not that deep. You know what I mean? And if you feel like it is, or if you feel like, you know, like I can't be around someone that I always feel like I have to be on eggshells or on pins and needles, or I gotta be on top of my A game all the time to be thinking about what they got going on and how, what do they really think about our friendship and things like that. No, you got time for that? Do you got time for that? No, no. You got things to do. You got moves to make. You got your peace of mind to think about. If you're constantly in that state of mind, and you're putting a whole lot of anxiety on yourself, because you feel like people around you are not really there for you. Because that's the bottom line. If you feel like, every time they say something, and it's always like you gotta think about what they said and how they said it and what do they really mean by it, you know, that's not gonna do you any good. That's not doing you any good. That's not bringing you any joy. That's not bringing you any peace. And we all know, like, we bought peace up in here, right? So we definitely need to be more intentional when it comes to overthinking what other people are thinking. That's none of our business what other people are thinking, first of all. If they didn't say flat out to you this, that, and the other, take what they said and move on. Okay? Until their true actions show you different. Basically. We don't got time to be our mind already, be freaking us up already. You know what I mean? We already have to worry about the negative part of our minds and what we gotta, do to make it more positive and, keep the negativity aside within ourselves. We don't have time to be trying to think about what other people got going on within their minds. Like, no. Let's stop that. Okay? Do not read into every little thing that people say to you. Do not, like, unless you know for a fact they coming after you, you know what I mean? Like, they're not about you, they're not for you, then you already know, like, you need to cut them off anyway. But if you're always constantly around people who are supposed to be your friend, supposed to be, a loved one, and, you feel like everything they say is like have some kind of hidden agenda, or they try to be slick with it, then you know they gotta go. A conversation needs to be had, and to find out the truth. But you know what, those kind of conversations, Joe, I personally don't feel like they ever go anywhere, because you can come to somebody and be like, well, I feel like, did you mean that this way or whatever? Like, if they just come out straight out to begin with to tell you that that's what they were saying, then they're not gonna admit to it now. Like, and you're gonna be like, you'll be right back in the same spot all over again, and if that's a continuous thing with you guys, then cut your losses. Cut your losses and be around friends that you feel like, are there generally for you. If you feel like, if you not even feel like, if you know that it's you and you're just like, you're paranoid, or you have social anxiety, and you can't, be in a room full of people and you feel like someone somewhere in that room is talking negative about you, or the conversation is all about you. Sometimes, you guys, it is in our own minds, and just be careful of those kind of scenarios. You know, how be around people that generally care for you. You know, take people's actions for what they are, take their words for what has been said until proven otherwise. Get out of your own head, because a lot of times that you're just projecting. You know what I mean? Like, let's not project our feelings onto others, and work on ourselves. Essentially, work on ourselves and work on how we feel about ourselves and work on our joy, our inner peace, and all that good stuff. And, you'll start to, see the light, because sometimes it's not always about the other person. It really isn't. It really is not always about the other person, you guys. A lot of times we're just, and I can speak for myself, like a little cuckoo puffs. You know what I mean? We're a little out there, and and granted, it's not because we're just nuts. It's just sometimes, our experiences and life and past hurts and past pains sometimes have you feel some type of way and have you always on alert for the next downfall in a relationship or downfall in, in some kind of way. You know what I mean? So we have to be able to manage that. We have to be able to find ways to, live amongst people because they're there. You know what I mean? And be happy. Be happy if you once you're happy within yourself and you're happy about who you truly are, there's nothing that someone else can say. There's nothing that you can ad lib in their words to make you feel any type of way. You know what I mean? So let's be intentional about that, you guys. Let's be intentional about not ad libbing what people say to us. You know what I mean? And just take it for what they say and move on. Because it's such hard work, you guys. It's such hard work to sit there and try to decipher everything that someone says to you and and turn it into this whole negative, and you start to feel it and you're just like, okay, well, because honestly, yeah, like, what are they going through? You know what I mean? So let's think about that. Think about it that way. Instead of thinking about what they said to you and you twisting it all in your mind and, like, think about it a different way. Like, oh man, like, what could they possibly be going through to make up to, for you to feel like, because it's just your feeling, you know what I mean? For you to feel like they talking, they try to get at you or whatever, or come sideways with it or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, if the friendship is, something you want to keep, like, do it that way. Twist it around, like, find out what they got going on, see if they need help with something, you know. Honestly, like, giving sometimes really helps, to be out of our own mind and not be so, all about us, and oh, they really are talking about me, and so a majority of the time they really not. Like, okay, you guys, so let's get out of our own heads, let's get out of people's heads, and let's just try to hone in and keep the happy that we got going on, okay? Because it's so easy to be distracted from, the gratefulness and the happiness and the joy and the peace by one conversation with a friend or one conversation with a loved one or whoever, because you're so busy now, like, okay, what she meant by that, like, oh, like, why wasn't her actions, how I wanted it to be, or you know what I mean, like, why wasn't her reaction how I wanted it to be? Like, people are people. Like, people have their own, you can't control how people react. You can't control how people, choose to say certain things, and you know what I mean. But if you feel like it's a definite change, a definite, like, big difference from, the usual, then maybe a conversation needs to be had, like I said, but don't sit there and, and you can't sleep and you can't eat because all you gotta do now is just think about what they saying and how they said it, and you replay it over and over again. Please, y'all, get out of people's minds. Okay? Get out of it. If it's not worth enough for you to have a conversation, then it's not worth you sitting there, like, griping over it, honestly. Yes, I hope you like this video. I hope you gain something out of it. Let's get out of people's minds and heads and all that stuff, y'all. Because it's not working for us. It hasn't worked for me, okay? I don't know who else can agree with me, but let's stay out of people's, let's mind our business, okay? Thanks for watching this video. Please Please like, comment, subscribe, share. And you guys, I started uploading on the shorts. I started uploading the shorts on YouTube. So check those out, okay? And I'll definitely talk to you guys soon. Make sure to continue to support this channel. Buy me a coffee, as you guys know, if you so choose to. And I'll definitely talk to you guys soon. Thanks, guys. Bless.